Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our Monday evening community call for here it is, February 16th. It's my daughter's birthday. Woohoo! And 2 days after Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and it is President's Day. I'm not actually sure the foundation of President's Day, but a lot of people took the day off. We didn't, but LifeWave did. So customer service was closed. They'll be opening back up tomorrow. But we've got a few things to share with you tonight. And, we want to start with we have a really nice training lined up for you on the 3C's of success. But before we get to that, I think we want to give a moment to honor the loss of a dear friend and community member. And those of you seen the newsletter have maybe seen that our dear brother in LifeWave, Carl Krebs, went home to the Lord on Friday night. Young, strong man, young and according to me, I was born 10 years before him. But God, we love Carl. And, you know, so I'll just read this and then I'll let Robin say a few words. But it's with great sadness we want to honor, acknowledge the life of Carl Krebs, who passed away just a few days ago from a heart attack. Carl was passionate about life, and everybody that knows him will tell you, he was all about passion for LifeWave, for freedom. He was a true gift to our community and to Canada and to the world. He's a man of great faith. He always had time to pray with a friend in need, and he'll be missed by many. He'll be missed by all of us. He's gone home to the heart of God. So we love you. We miss you, Carl, and uh, rest in peace. And Robin, did you want to say a couple of things before we have a few moments of silence?
Well, anyone who knew Carl, and he was on our director's call, he was a voice. He was, passionate is like the first thing that I always say about Carl because he was, and he created a track for himself for his retirement plan, Exit 39, which was he was a long haul trucker. And he wanted to give an exit path for other truckers and other people too to get a good life through LifeWave. And, I worked very closely with Carl. I was his coach for a long time. We had just started up again and he was really working on himself. He'd never been um, he was always a solopreneur, so this team sport thing was new to him, and he was learning, and there were some rough spots there, and anyone who worked with him knows he was very strong, he had a very bold voice, but boy, did he care. He had a huge heart, and he was so passionate, and he's left a big hole for lots of us.
So, if you're interested in knowing more about his funeral service, there's a link there that you can click through. And um, so we've been blessed by Carl and now on earth, and now we'll be blessed by Carl in heaven. So we, so you Canadians, I know he's going to continue working on all the solutions that you're
He's got
looking
a bigger
for.
venue, you guys.
And now he's got a bigger hand in it. That's right. Okay. Well, so before we, okay, I'm going to back up and I'm going to switch over to a training that's created on that we created on the 3C's of success. And I know last week uh, Bill gave an amazing Gillilam gave an amazing
Jim.
training on constant Jim. I have a friend named Bill, and I'm always mixing up Bill and Jim. Bill Gillian and Jim Gilliland. uh, Jim did an amazing training on constancy, and it triggered for me, beyond constancy, there's two other things, confidence and competence. So I've created a little PowerPoint. Thank you, Liz, for helping me do that. And I'm going to switch my screen share over to the PowerPoint. And I'm going to talk about the 3 C's of success: constancy, which leads to confidence, which leads to competence. Not a long training, but I think this will hit the mark. It just is a natural, organic order of progression. If you're constant, you'll develop confidence. And if you develop confidence and you continue on, you're going to become competent. So, constancy, learning and doing the daily action plan. Does that sound familiar? The definition of constancy from the perspective of our business in being committed to learn and do every day, not every week, every day. And it's doing the basics over and over. So, what does constancy look like for us in LifeWave? It's our 5-step daily action plan. Connecting with people, piquing their interest, pointing them to the tools, to a power, to a Zoom, to a meeting, to a website, whatever is right for them, whatever you feel motivated to point them to a tool. And the fortune and the friendship is in the follow up. And we've had a lot of really dynamic trainings over the last few months talking about the importance of follow up and the fact that usually it takes 5 to 7 exposures for someone to make an informed decision. And most people quit after the first or second. So follow up, follow up, follow up. And if you follow up enough, somebody's going to say, how do I get started? And that's when the fun really starts, when you get to enroll people. So I don't know, Robin, jump in or I'll just jump forward. Anything you want to add to that?
No, you keep going. You're on a roll.
Okay. So the results of constancy, if you just doing it, and you're not going to be good at it at first. And if you're brand new with LifeWave, I'm speaking to you. If you've been with LifeWave for a long time, I'm speaking to you. When you first started, you weren't good at it. And the more you practice, the better you get. So the result of being constant, you develop familiarity with the tools and what to say. You have reduced emotional reactivity. The no's don't hurt so much because many times the no means not now. That's what a no is. And you develop pattern recognition. You see when someone's starting to lean in. And when we had Sir Kaya, doing his training with us last month, he said, you got to learn, when people are leaning in, as opposed to they're back. And if they're leaning back, you need to evaluate what you're doing. If they're leaning in, maybe they're getting close to decision. Is there anything else you want to ask or hear or learn before you make a decision on getting started with us? So, that pattern recognition, which doesn't happen overnight. And especially if you've never been in sales and marketing before, but just be consistent and be resilient. And as you've heard Robin and I say a million times, success is not magical, it's mathematical. It's really a numbers game. So, and I thought it was Shakespeare, but I did some research and some other poet said, if man were but constant, he would be perfect. Consistency is the key to success in anything we do. Okay?
And just a little bit of Jim Rohn in here because it
Yeah.
fits so perfectly. He says we make up in numbers what we lack in skill. And so
Mm.
when we're early on in the business, we want to keep doing it and keep and our conversions aren't so great in the early days, but the more we do it, the greater our skill, the better our conversions. But the consistency is the key.
Okay. So if you're constant, if you have consistency, you're going to start developing confidence. You're going to feel good, say, I can do this, and it's belief backed by experience. It's not like the fake it till you make it. It's you've been practicing enough. I can do this. Maybe I don't do it perfect yet. Maybe I'm not as good as I can be because there's always room for improvement. But the definition of confidence is the certainty in yourself, your product, and your process. Let's face it, we have a really simple process, very natural and organic. Connect with people. Hey, how are you? Blah blah blah. And hey, how are you? And maybe they say I'm having this or I'm having that, and that's the opportunity to pique your interest. Hey, I've heard about something. That's our daily action plan is a really natural, organic progression of thought. So, how constancy creates confidence. So, you've been handling objections before, you've heard enough no's, and you've survived the rejection, and you've seen the system work, and you've enrolled some brand partners and customers who go, hey, it's like when you're fishing, you're out there for hours and hours, and all of a sudden you get a bite. Then another hour goes by, you get another bite, another hour goes by, and you catch one. Well, there's fish in there. I know there's fish in there. I like to use the fishing analogy. I'm not a big fisherman, but I've done it enough to know what it's like to be the difference between fishing and catching, and you go fishing to do some catching, right? And we go prospecting to do some enrolling. So you just need to trust the process. As we like to say, fall in love with the process. And so confidence in our profession is not hype, it's an earned familiarity that comes just through that consistency of working the process. So from confidence, where do we go? We go the next step. Oh, that's the last step, to competence. This is where, you actually get pretty good at it. You're developing some skill, some mastery, and you're starting to see predictable results. And so the difference of competence is the ability to consistently produce results. You know that if you talk with three people a day, you're going to get one person that's interested. You talk to, three people a day for 5 days, you're going to have 15 people. You're going to have five people that are interested. You might end up one or two that are going to sign up and enroll with you. As you work the numbers get better, but it's the ability to consistently produce results. You learn which tool, you become sensitive, you become a better listener, you learn the right questions to help guide the conversation, and then help people get enough information to make an informed decision. So confidence evolves into competence when your enrollment rates improve. Yay. You anticipate objections before they arise. You can even nip them in the bud. Hey, and not everybody feels it the first day, but it starts working the very moment you put it on at a cellular level. That's kind of you're anticipating objections before they arise. You duplicate effectively. Once you become confident and competent, you probably become a pretty good trainer for the new people joining your team. You're coming from a point of experience and success. So your team starts winning without you because they've learned what you're doing. It's a follow the leader, business, and your results become predictable. So competence is the proof. Oh, I of of
Whoops.
confidence. I wrote it wrong. Okay, that should say
We know what you
confidence
mean, though.
is a proof of confidence. So when you're
Yeah.
confident and you continue on, you will become competent. Okay?
And
So
and
any
I love
comment? Go
Yes,
ahead.
I do. And I love how you start with your enrollment rate improves. Well, what's your enrollment rate? How do you know? And it's really important to understand what your conversion is. How many people do you need to talk to in order for someone to say yes? And I used to work with a man named Michael Gerber. He wrote the book, The E Myth, and we were doing 100 cold calls a day, and we had to know our conversions every single day. How many people said yes to the next step, to the next step, to the next step? And this is where we really, really develop our muscles and our strength. Because if you know it's going to take 10 people to get to that one, guess what? That wonderful work from Andrea Waltz and Richard Fenton, Go for No, knowing your numbers, because you every no is getting you closer to the yes. And so please know your numbers. Count how many people are you reaching out to before you get a conversion into a yes. So thank you for that.
And I remember, Robin, when you first started reaching out to people after you developed your belief because you had an amazing result in 7 days of using X39 on your knee, and you started casually reaching out to people. And after a while, you were keeping track of everybody you reached out to, and you were so excited because you tracked first call, second call, third call, enrollment. And I remember you saying, this is so exciting. People are calling me back.
Not only were they calling me back, I've never seen conversions like this
That's right,
before.
because you were
I
tracking the
never.
conversion.
And, I've been sharing products and services for many, many, many decades, but this is the most fun I ever had.
And
And
I
still
should have
do.
added another bullet in there. That which measures is measured grows. If you're
Yes.
tracking your success, measuring your success, you'll know when you're having an up day or a down day, an up week or a down week. And with our new back office, it's easy to tell also. You can see the end result. But I mean, with your daily activities, is what you should be tracking. So, competence is the proof of confidence. Okay. And so, the last slide, the bottom line is there's usually no shortcuts in success. I mean, every once in a while you hear this amazing wonder. They came in and went director in the first week and executive in the first month, and but they didn't tell you they've been in network marketing for 20 years and a company they were with went bankrupt and everybody was looking for a new home and a lot of them came with them. And that doesn't happen to everybody. That hardly ever happens. And usually when it does happen, people don't tell you that that's how they got there. But when you hear these flaming fast track meteoric success stories, that's usually what's happened. They've come from another company, had a big following, and everybody was looking for a new home. But that's not the normal thing. It's usually a very slow, organic process. But the beauty of network marketing is it builds, it's compounding. Unlike compounding interest, this is compounding revenue. So we say it again and again and again. Success is not magical, it's mathematical. The more you practice, the more the numbers start working in your favor. So that's it. The
I
end
love
of
it.
the training. Short and to the
Simple.
point. So we'll stop that share. And I hope that was meaningful and helpful for all of you. Sometimes it's just to get back to the basics. And I'm going to go back and share my screen and get back to and Robin, maybe you could check in the comments section, see if there's any
I
comments.
am. I am.
Okay.
And Dr. Latrice says she has a call log and it is so fun to fill it in. It is fun when you fill stuff in. So, having a log sheet, because sometimes, if I was out and about and I'd take my log sheet with me and it would have names, phone numbers, last contact, and a few little places for notes. And then I'd be able to see, oh, well, I have a few minutes here or there. I can call so and so. You fit people into the nooks and crannies of your life. And, that was a very valuable thing is to have that log sheet with me. So I highly invite everybody to have your own log sheet of who you calling, you know?
In my early networking days, when I had page after page after page of log sheet, I'd put 1 star if I thought they were a pretty good prospect and I'm working and maybe the second or third. Then I'd put a 2 star and then I'd pretty soon I'd go through the list and I'd be calling the stars, because I'd be sifting through the prospects for potential and the people that were close to a decision, the people that had the energy I was looking for. So, track your progress, make your list.
And one other thing you taught me that I continue to repeat all the time because follow up is
Okay.
one of those things that a lot of us could probably be better at, right? And
Hmm.
so, never ending one exposure without setting up the next. And that's true for your prospects, it's true for your customers and your brand partners, because that's what continues to develop the relationship. And staying connected creates retention also. So, Gregory taught me that one, and boy, has that made a huge difference. So,
It's
onward.
that's $1 million success tip. Never end one exposure or one meeting without scheduling the next. And it might be, hey, this is, I'm really busy. I'm getting ready to go on a cruise or whatever. So that's fine. When you get back, why don't we hook up? How long are you going to be gone? And let's see if we can't put a date on the calendar now. But if it's a new prospect and you just send them a video, you send them a web link or something, what's a good time later today or tomorrow to get back to them? I'm really excited to hear what you think about it. Put some enthusiasm into it. And, while we're on the discussion of follow up, I want to differentiate. From my perspective, you follow up with your prospects, and when they become a customer or brand partner, you follow through because now they're part of your team. And follow through is so vitally important. Some people follow up, follow up, follow up, get them signed up, and off to the next, and forget about them. That's we call that the lost sponsor syndrome, you know. And you don't want that with the people you enroll.
Love
So
it.
let's go back to our newsletter. We just have a few other things to share. A lot
We
of
have
activity.
quite a few actually.
There is actually. This is a pretty exciting promotion. Buy
I
two, get
bought
one
some
free.
today.
You ordered some today. I should have known.
I did. I
Yeah, you
did.
can't beat that,
Well,
because
it's a third off. That's a good
it is.
thing.
Yeah. And
Three
it's
for the
still
price
full
of two.
BV, and it's still full BV, so it's
Yep.
really awesome. So, and this is just for this week. So this is time for everybody to stock up on X39 and 49, which everyone should be using.
And just a little reminder, it says it in there. In order to always take advantage of promotions under the store, you have to look for the promotion tab. If you put in two X39s and one X49, you will not get the promotion. So
Uh,
please remember to go to the promotion tab.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'll end up costing you $99 more than you thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Customer earnings event. For our customer getters, everyone counts. So Robin, you want to talk about this? I didn't have a chance to review this one.
Yeah. You'll receive a one-time bonus of $2.50 for every retail customer and $5 for a PC or a PC Plus.
Wow. So you get more. Wow,
You
that's
do, you
exciting.
get more for
Yeah.
those and you
That's a
make more for
25% increase on your preferred customer income.
it's a pretty wonderful thing. So, if you want to juice up your income a little bit, bring more customers and it says
Mhm.
to earn now I'm it says
Oh,
16 or more to earn 240, so there must be a cap at 240 is my guess from reading this. But it's you're building your customer base, and your customer base not only is a consistent income that you can actually count on. If you get over 300 in customer volume, you start earning customer premiums, and it's when you get over 1200, oh my gosh, the premium is 20%. It goes 5, 10, and 20%. So there's
mm.
definitely an advantage to having customers. And
Yep.
guess who started as a customer? Okay. You never know what's going to happen to those customers, and Dr. Nicholas likes to call me best customer ever. It's one of my favorite titles. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So this Wednesday in 2 days, this is going to be exciting. You want to comment about that also?
I sure do. Alicia is a gem. If you haven't met Alicia, she is bubbling over with joy and enthusiasm, and she's so fabulous. So I love the topic, sharing naturally, how to talk
Mhm.
about LifeWave. How many of you have wanted to feel more natural and comfortable when you share? And she's a perfect person to do this. So it'll be wonderful to have that training, and that's on LifeWave Business Connect this Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. for the replay.
Mhm.
Pacific.
Yep. Okay, that's important. Okay, and we got some events coming up. Very excited to have our first Canadian boot camp, and that's March 6th and 7th. And um, I'm sorry that Carl won't be there in body. I'm sure he'll be there in spirit, but I'll be there physically. I'm flying up, and Robin even mentioned she might think about going with me. So who knows? But I'm certainly going to be there. I know a lot of our Canadians will be, but there's a whole slew of Canadian events. So, and this is the what you'll find when if you didn't get the weekly update from LifeWave, you can click here and get a copy of it. But these are the upcoming corporate events. Uh, this Wednesday, Robin just talked about the LifeWay Business Connect. And this is the last week for the Honolulu incentive trip qualification. So I know there's a lot of people going, a lot of people close. And so it's important to, button it up by the end of this week if possible.
So
Uh,
there's a lot of people qualified. And if you're not certain exactly where you are, please call customer service and they will give you the exact number. And if you've been using your tracker, which we hope everybody is using your tracker every time you do an upgrade, every time you do an enrollment, every time you upgrade, I mean, you rank up, whatever it is, make sure you have that sheet because if there's a discrepancy in the numbers, you have got it all and it's not going to take forever to put it together because believe me, I've done that many times with people. So make it easy on yourself, okay? And we're excited to see you in Honolulu.
And I know our Canadians excited because we have another road show with Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vancouver in early in March. So, who do you know in Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, or Vancouver? Because all of them, the boot camp is going to have a Friday night business meeting, LifeWave Showcase, which they're going to have in all of these other cities. So great for guests. But the difference in Calgary, we're going to have an all-day boot camp training on Saturday. So that's exciting. And then our next boot camp is going to be in Dallas, Texas on April 17th and 18th. And I understand that we have the link wrong here. I apologize for that. Plenty of time to find the right link. And to find the right link, just click here on the LifeWave newsletter, and they have the right link there. I think I mistakenly posted the wrong link in this newsletter today, so I apologize for that. Okay, well, that's the upcoming events.
Let's keep going.
Then we have
So
events for this week.
tomorrow night,
Mhm.
oh, and I talked to Michelle today. She's going to be hosting Dr. Barber on the Power of the Patch showcase. She said this morning's Monday morning miracle call was amazing,
Oh,
like one of the best ever. And Gregory and I are in a program on Monday and Wednesday morning, so we didn't hear it. So we're going to have to listen to it, honey. So I recommend everyone listen to it. That's such a great way to start the day and such a wonderful resource to share with your customers, your prospects, your brand partners, because hearing the stories is so inspiring and it actually builds your toolkit. So when you're talking to someone who has a lumpuckaroo, you have a lumpuckaroo story. And it's really powerful because it's the stories that make the difference. And we talked about LifeWave Connect. We have Thursday morning business training and, of course, the Doc Talk. And
mhm.
there's 600 to 1,000 people that show up on that every single week, even Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you, Connie, for starting that. Such a
Yeah.
great vehicle for people. Keep
Okay,
going, honey.
so a few other important things.
Um,
Um,
uh, I, I'll let you do that one.
oh, this doesn't belong there. This is a prompt from
I
Constant
I I
Contact.
was going to ask you about that. It shouldn't be in
No,
there.
no, that shouldn't be there. Whenever you add a new text block in the Constant Contact says, your copy should address three key questions. Who am I writing to? So
Okay.
we
Well,
didn't, obviously, in proofreading, we didn't catch that.
okay. All right.
So you can just
Well,
ignore that, or whenever you're writing, maybe you should copy and
it's a
consider that.
it's
Okay.
a good tool. It's a very
So
good
so
tool.
that's the
And
program, the company we use for all of our newsletters is Constant
yeah.
Contact. Actually, same company that LifeWave uses. I don't know why they're having so much trouble getting our names on the weekly mailing list, but we won't go there right now. So
Mhm.
there are the updated Live Younger tools. If you haven't checked it out, some really nice new banners and cards and business cards and rack cards and a lot of really cool new stuff in there.
And then we have
And
the pouches because if you're new, you want to make sure that you protect your precious patches. And and what's it called? What are those bags called that protect from EMFs? Um, I have one right here.
yeah,
Anyway, they don't protect your patches. They don't protect against
it,
electromagnetics.
infrared. Yeah,
Infrared, infrared.
right.
So we want to make sure you have insulation to keep your patches safe. It's fine to go through security with them, but I always keep them in my purse in a little credit card holder, that looks like this, and it has all these different spaces. I can't see it very well on here, but
Yeah.
a place for your business card, place for your patches, and I put a little insulation in there. And this is for full sleeves, and you can get the small ones on Amazon for $10 or credit card cases, a leather zip credit card case, and you'll see them. So those are available, and we still, people are loving having the liveyounger.com website that is personalized. It is amazing. It's only $50 for the year. And when people, it's your marketing and enrolling site. So if people like what they see, they can click and shop right there and get enrolled as a customer or a brand partner. So all good. And
So
I think
there
that
you
might
are,
be it.
right on the money, 7:30, and
We
it's a
did it.
wrap. It's a wrap. Well,
Great
we
job,
love you
honey.
all, and just be consistent. You'll become confident, and with that comes competence. So we love you all. Have a great evening. We'll see you on one of the upcoming calls. Bye,
Bye
all.
bye.